Welcome back to AgriTalk. We apologize for the small technical hitch, but we are back. And in studio, I'm still with Fred Monena, who is an agronomist. And today we are talking about agronomy and why is agronomy, agronomic practices are important for farmers, especially now that it's the planting season. Before we experience some technical hitch, Monena, we were talking about the role of an agronomist.
Yes.
And you explained a little bit about the role of agronomy.
Yes.
So my next question is, I also understand you are a freelance agronomist.
Exactly.
When you say you are a freelance agronomist, what do you mean?
Freelance agronomist is an agronomist who is not limited to one company or to one area, to an organization. Like in my case, I can work within a farmer at any part of this country to solve all their crop production problems. Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I know there are so many young people out there who don't have work.
Yes.
Looking and wondering, how can I be self-employed? Can agronomy be a sustainable career?
Yes. Agronomy, from my own experience and from what I've seen from other fellow agronomists, agronomist is a career, and it is a stable job that can feed young Kenyans or young Africans who currently think they are jobless. Mm-hmm. What they need to do is just to engage themselves and have passion of what they do, because passion is the bottom line of agronomy. It's not that easy as you're mentioning it.
Okay.
Yes.
So, as a country, do you think we have enough agronomists?
No, at the moment I can say we don't have enough agronomists.
Reason?
Reason being, most of the youths are not focusing into learning agricultural practices courses. Yeah? Mm-hmm. They are majoring with to other courses. And I think it's because in past they used to know that it used to be told that agriculture is a dirty job, and it is a retirement plan. Mm-hmm. So as a youth, when you are seen doing farming, you are told when mshamba. And what I can say without fear is that agronomists has reached a point where it's no longer ushamba. In fact, all the money that you see in Kenya revolves around agriculture. I'll give you a good example. When you walk in town, you'll hear people say, hakuna mvua, hakuna pesa. There is no rain, there is no money. That means when rain comes, something germinates from our farms and money comes in. Mm. Yes.
Okay. So do you think there is a future for agronomy?
A very bright future. But the future is for only people who will be passionate and ready to do things hands-on. They are ready to get dirty and solve farmers' problem down there.
Okay.
Yes.
So when we talk about agronomy as a career and as a practice, as an agronomist yourself,
yes.
How do agronomists also use technology in their work, and how important is the use of technology in agronomy?
Nice. When the world was migrating from analog to digital, agricultural agronomy was not left behind. At the moment, there are so many apps that are out there in our phones, in the computers, and these apps are only there to help farmers. A farmer can, without now calling me or inviting an agronomy, can use an app to identify a certain pest or disease. Mm-hmm. And that app can analyze everything from the nature of the pest and the product to be used in order now to solve that problem or to eradicate that pest. The whole IT fraternity has also come in agriculture, developing apps and now bringing technology to make sure the work of a farmer or the work of the agronomist is made easier.
Okay.
Yes.
What other form of technology is being used by agronomists?
I've witnessed several forms of agronomists, and the one that I've just liked is the use of drones. Agronomists have adopted use of drones, and And in these drones, there are specific uses of them. Some are using it to monitor, because when an agronomist is invited, it's not limited to a certain area of work. Some are given large tracts of land. Now they use these drones in order to monitor different pests and diseases in this field. Also, the same drones can also be used for spraying, in order to control certain pests and diseases in these fields.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So now that we farmers just planted the other day, or some are still planting, as an agronomist, what advice or what do farmers need to look at between when they started preparing their lands to the time they are ready to plant? What are some of the things they need to know?
Now, what a farmer needs to know now is different steps in cultivation. They have already prepared the land, like they have already done. Now they have reached a point where they need a seedling or a seed.
Mm. Just before even we go to the seed.
Okay.
In terms of ensuring that their soils are okay, in terms of, I've seen the need for farmers to do soil tests.
Yes.
Maybe we can start from.
Okay. Just to start with, like I've just told you, when we are starting, we start with a business plan or a business case for a farmer. Then from the business case, the following step is to do a soil analysis in order to know the inputs to use in this farming journey, because there are starters inputs that are needed in the soil just before planting, and we need other top-up inputs. Now, we need a soil test in order to be guided on this starters input. Also, we need to know what may bother our crop on the way, because there are some diseases and pests that await the crop in order now to destroy it.
In the soil?
Yes, in the soil.
Okay.
You need to know that, and you can only know that through soil analysis. When you get now the soil analysis back to your business plan, you are able now to put all these things, and you come up now with a full budget of crop from now planting up to when you go to the market.
Okay.
Yes.
So when you're looking at the soil analysis, what exactly are you looking for in the soil?
Looking at the soil analysis, when you do a soil analysis, there are different aspects that you consider. One of them is the pathological part of it, that is the diseases in the soil. Also, we look at pests. Those are now, there are some natural pests which are in the soil, and they are there dormant, just waiting for any crop. And for to handle on the soil analysis, you have to specify, when you go to analyzing your soil, you have to specify which crop are you going to grow. So that now the soil now they can look at, because every crop with its pests and diseases, depending by, so all crops have their families. Now, different families of the crop with different pests and diseases. So now, the soil analysis expert now comes up now with a full analysis of the pests and the diseases that you may encounter on your way, and advise you accordingly on what to use in order to eradicate them.
Okay.
Yes.
So when you're still doing this soil analysis, you've talked about dangerous pests or insects in the soil.
Yes.
Are there also some beneficial ones that you need to protect in the soil? Or?
Yes, there are so many beneficial pests in the soil, and the topic about the soil is
wide.
Is very wide, because one, just to analyze on it, when you are doing crops, there are three important things in the soil: the crop itself, the soil, and the soil biologists. We call them the biotas. And these three things live together. The crop benefit from the soil and from the biota. The biota benefit from the soil and from the crop. So if you take care of the crop alone and fails to take care of the soil and the biota, you are doing nothing.
Okay.
Yes, because for example, the soil is the mother of the biota and the crop. It acts as a storage and anchors now. The main purpose of the soil is to anchor the crop. Then the crop knows how now to communicate with the biota and get everything now. If by mistake you do, for example, a lot of synthetic things, the chemicals and the fertilizers, you end up killing the biota,
Okay.
which is of no help now to you. Yes.
Okay. Now, let's say as a farmer, I've checked my soil, I've done and make sure my soil is okay. I know the nutrients in my soil and I know the crop that I'm planting.
Yes.
How do I now decide which seed, or how do I arrive at a seed or seed selection?
Good. Now, when talking about seed selection, and this is what now the seed propagators have mastered. If today you visit Kim Planter seedlings and nurseries at their place, they have already mastered this thing about seed selection. One, seeds are categorized by climatic condition, where they're supposed to be grown and when they're supposed to be grown. Talking of climatic condition, there are some seeds which are suitable in the rains, others are supposed to be grown under irrigation alone. Another thing is the soil condition of the area. Like, for example, in areas of Kirinyaga or Mount Kenya region, their soils are attacked by wilting, bacterial wilting. And the breeders now have come in with special seed for these farmers. The propagators have bought the concept of what the breeders has done and went ahead now to propagate these seeds for these farmers. So when a farmer comes to a propagator or to a seed distributor, the seed distributor or the propagator asks some few questions. Where are you going to grow these crops? At which soil, what is the nature of your soil? If you have a soil analysis result, also they can help you to select the best seed for you.
Oh.
Also, again, what dictate the selection of the seed is the market. Some market are in need, like for example, in tomato production, they are in need of, some market are in need of large fruit, others in need of small fruit, small sizable fruit. So from the market now, a farmer is told, now I need a big fruit. When you go to Kim Planter seedlings, you go now with the idea of
a big fruit.
A big fruit. They are able now to give you what you need.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, so it is very important also when I'm going to buy my seed, if I've done a soil analysis.
Yes.
And I have my report, I can work with it.
Exactly. Yeah, it's very important.
Okay. So it's not just I was given and I will put under my bed and move on.
No. In fact, when you're engaging an agronomist, the first thing you're supposed to give to an agronomist is the soil analysis report.
Okay.
If you are unable now to engage an agronomist, when you visit the propagation unit, they have their own agronomists who can also interpret these analyses. They are able to give you the best seedling or the best seed according to the result. Okay. That will suit you.
Okay.
Yes.
So let's say now we've done our soil analysis, we've selected our seed, we've grown the crop. How now do we protect this crop to make sure it gets to maturity?
Okay. Now on issues protection of the crop, these are a daily monitoring, a weekly monitoring, and a record and serious recording of what you're observing in the field.
Okay.
A farmer needs to prepare scouting sheet or needs to have a book or a booklet where he or she can write anything observed in the field. And through that, with the help of the agronomist, they will come now with a solution of solving the problem. Maybe it can be a problem of the pest or a problem of the disease. Now from that point, an agronomist knows which best product to tackle the problem.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Fred, we'll take a short commercial break.
Okay.
And then when we come back, we will still talk more about other practices that the farmer need to know before they harvest the crop and take it to the market.
Okay.
For our viewers back at home, thank you for still keeping it KTN Farmers TV. And today on Agri Talk, we are talking about agronomy and why is it important for you to have an agronomist in your farms once in a while to help you check on your crop and make sure that it is doing well. So don't change that dial. We'll be back shortly.
The time has come to unveil a new era, an era that represents innovation, vision, inspiration, entertainment, information, and most of all, an era that represents you. We remain toe-to-toe in delivering news to you in an ever-evolving digital landscape on our favorite channel. Because as you change, we are changing with you. It's bolder, braver, and all-inclusive. The all-new Standard newspaper is still setting the standard with in-depth analysis and hard-hitting opinions that give you profound perspectives on issues that matter. With striking infographics and new magazines that make every day a day to read the Standard. We bring you the all-new Standard newspaper, setting the standard so you can make the day count. The Standard, Kenya's bold newspaper.
Stortford in Hertfordshire with cab driver Ian and wife Jackie. A new 1960s three-bed semi is almost identical to their old home. There's just one big difference.
We moved in here 2 months ago. The biggest problem is the fact that nobody's ever done anything here. It's like trapped in the 60s and the 70s. So it just really needs modernising.
Yes, but have they got the readies to get what they want?
We don't want to run out of money for our whole project, so...
Welcome back and thank you for keeping it KTN Farmers TV. This is Agri Talk and today we are talking about agronomy, and with me in studio is Fred Munena, who is an agronomist by profession. So Fred, before we left, we were talking about crop management.
Yes.
What farmers need to know when they are managing their crop as they prepare to harvest it. But in the recent past also we've had issues about pests and diseases,
yes,
and the excessive use of pesticides.
Yes.
What would you have to say about why all of a sudden we are all complaining about excessive use of pesticides by farmers?
Okay. Now, talking of crop protection and excessive use of pesticide. In fact, those farmers who are using chemicals excessively end up incurring more cost in producing their crops. Mm-hmm. Now, as agronomists, we are advising them on high PM approach, which is integrated pest management, pest and disease management. In the IPM, we use the biological measures, mechanical and physical measures, cultural measures, and light chemicals. And at the end of it, those who practice the IPM end up using less amount of money in producing compared to those who are using a lot of chemicals. This is one of the area farmers should learn. Okay. Like for example, I'll just measure with one crop, with one pest that is bothering farmers so much in tomato production, and that is Tuta absoluta. Farmers invest a lot in controlling this pest, and the chemicals to control this pest are very expensive. But by use of biological approach, and this is now using the biological traps, there are some biological traps which have been made to attract the male tuta absoluta, the moth itself. And once you control now the male moth, you reduce the reproduction in the field. Once the reproduction is low, that means tomorrow you will use less or no chemicals on that. So I think IPM...
Just like the use of fruit fly traps.
Yes, the same mechanism used to trap the fruit flies in mango production. The same process used in now to trap tuta absoluta moth in tomato production.
Okay.
Yes.
So this you call them organic or
biological? Biological products.
No. The practice itself of using
IPM, integrated pest management.
Yes.
Yes.
Which one is cheaper, to use pesticides or to use traps?
I'll go for IPM, use of traps, because in an acre of tomatoes, there are specific number of traps that we're supposed to use. Let's say, for example, 10 of them, and doing economics, it will cost you less if you use these traps compared to when you control it using chemicals. Because what I've seen, farmers are forced to do it on weekly basis in order to control this moth. And also farmers have forgotten, nature has a way of protecting its things. You cannot eradicate tuta absoluta, but you can control it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Is there also a way that maybe farmers use the wrong chemicals, in that even after spraying they see the pest is still there, and that's why the excessive use of pests, so they keep spraying and spraying, but it's not happening?
Yes. Different stages of tuta absoluta needs different types of chemicals, and so many farmers with their knowledge, they have failed to involve agronomists in practicing these things. So they end up to the agrovets, and agrovet is a business like any other business, and when you go buying a product to control these, they have no time to advise you on how to use it, and they don't know the stage that you want to eradicate in your field. Now, they'll give you a right chemical to eradicate a wrong stage. So you'll end up using a lot of chemicals to eradicate this tuta absoluta, and at the end of it, it will destroy your crop.
Okay.
Yes.
So the reason might be farmers are not aware that there is a chemical for every stage.
Farmers are not aware there is a chemical for every stage.
And that's why you have the importance of an agronomist.
Yes, that's where now an agronomist comes in now to advise on what to be used, at what stage, at what time. Okay. Also, times also matters. Because all the pests now, not necessarily tuta absoluta, when you come spraying your chemicals at around, let's say 11 a.m. in the morning, all the pests will run away from the chemicals, because they are also living things. And when there is danger, when living things senses danger, it runs away. And now the chemicals don't stay there for long. In a few hours, when the danger now goes down, they comes into the field. So time of application is also very important.
Okay. So when's the best time?
The best time is when it's calm, especially in the morning.
Early morning.
Early morning or late evening. It's very important now to do your spraying at that point. Also, now to add on that time, when you do it, a plant, it is said that the activities of a plant start at around 8 to 8:30. That's when the stomata starts opening, and now the biological functions of the plant start. All the chemicals act hand in hand with the system of the crop. So if the system is asleep, the chemical won't work, unless it is a contact chemical. So there are some systemic chemicals and the the contact chemicals.
Ah, okay.
So like, for example, when we are eradicating tuta, we need a chemical that is translaminar. Once you spray it on this side, it come up to the lower side of the leaf, or it can flow in the system of the crop. So when you do the spraying early in the morning, by the time now the pest wakes up and the system wakes up, when the system wakes up now, the whole process starts. When the pest wakes up before it flies away and start feeding, it is already attacked there. So you are able to control them easily.
Okay.
Yes.
So for the farmer also, how long should they take before now after spring? How long should they take before taking their crop, harvesting their crop for the market?
Every chemical has what we call PHI, post-harvest interval. Once you spray this product, the best time to be consumed is supposed to be this date and this date.
Mm-hmm. It is always indicated in
It is always indicated in all products. Some are zero days, some can be sprayed at this time, and as you complete spraying, you can do the harvesting and take it to the market. Mm-hmm. But those, in most cases, those are biological product. Some gives a farmer just 2 or 3 days in order to take the product to the market. And for the chemicals that controls now dangerous pests like tuta absoluta, they are not less than 7 days. You will never meet a chemical that is controlling tuta absoluta and in 2 days you are supposed to harvest now. And farmers, I don't know, it's intentional or they need to be educated on this. Some farmers can do a spray of that and tomorrow they're in the market. The consumer consumes that without knowledge of what was done and at what time. So farmers should adhere to these regulations and set days for every product in order now to give consumers a good product.
Okay.
Yes.
As a country, do you have regulations on some of these things that farmers need to ensure that after spraying they have to wait for this long?
Yes.
Are there regulations?
Yeah, there are so many regulations on this, and it's up for the farmers now to adhere to rules and regulation. You know, and again, the government cannot monitor each and every farmer to see what they're doing. Mm-hmm. So it is a discipline that is need to be instilled in farmers, and just respect what the government wants of them.
Okay.
Yes.
So let's say after managing the pest, spraying, so what else do farmers need to know now between that time and harvesting to ensure that they also minimize on post-harvest losses from an agronomical point of view?
Now, what farmers needs to monitor before even doing the sprays is the market demand. Mm-hmm. What does the market need? There are specific market days. For example, in Kirinyaga region, you'll be told the markets will be on Wednesdays or on Tuesdays or on Saturdays. So they need to monitor this. If this is the market day, so I need to do my sprays on this particular day in order now to take a healthy product to the market. And also, in order, some farmers may observe the discipline of not taking the product to the market before the PHI is over, and end up losing the product they produce in the farm. So in order now to minimize these losses, they need to work with the market and the product they are using. Also in assistance of the agronomist. Yes.
Okay. Are agronomists also extension officers? Or?
In fact, currently what agronomists are doing is more of extension. Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I understand, we all know agriculture is a devolved function.
Yes.
Do you think the county government, even with the national government, do you think they're doing enough to ensure that the country has enough agronomists and extension officers so that they can help farmers understand these things? Because I don't think most of our farmers have all this knowledge with them.
To be sincere, for the many days I've been in the field, I've never met a government agricultural officer or a county agricultural officer assisting farmers. If it were not for the private sector players in the field, there could be zero food in Kenya today.
Okay.
So government should look at that. And there are agricultural officers who are there, who are employed by the government, but some of them are not updated on what is happening in the field and the solutions in the field.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Let's say I've observed all the things I need to observe with my farm. Spraying the right time, harvesting on the right time. Now let's talk about the market itself. As an agronomist, what advice will you give to the farmer about the market? What do I need to know? Apart from just making sure that I'm harvesting at the right time. Is there anything I need to know when I get to the market, how to make sure my products leave the shelf very fast?
Yes, talking of the market now, if I can take you behind, also from the seed selection, that when the marketing starts, you are able to know the size, the firmness of the product. Now when the products are ready, also now the market dictates on the level of the ripeness. Let's say in tomato production, how ripe a tomato is supposed to be before it's taken to the market. Some want it purely ripe, some want it's half ripe. There are some who need it when it's green as long as it's mature. So farmers should also work hard in hand with the market, even before they start growing, in order now to know what type of market am I farming for. Is it the red one? Is it the half-ripe market? Is it the green one? Is it the farm one or the big one? Yes.
Okay. Why is firmness important?
Because of firmness is important because of storage and transportation.
Okay.
Most of the consumers in the market, I included, we don't have the storage facilities in our homes where we can store this product for a longer period. So when the product that can stay in our kitchen for the longest time period is always the best for us.
So farm ones are?
The farm fruit are the best.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, now let's look at after harvesting. Maybe the farmers have sold their crop, now they're thinking of the next crop. There's something that I think we should have talked about earlier on.
Yes.
Just before planting. How important is water management practices to a farmer?
Talking of, there are two important things, and this is where now all the cost of production is in. One is soil. We've talked of it, and I think we talk of it later, and water management. If a farmer is able to manage the two things, water and the soil, then a farmer will be very successful. Currently, I like the way farmers have now adopted the water storage mechanism of putting the dam liners, digging a hole, putting the dam liners, and harvesting their water there. So even if there is no water or no rains, they continue their farming. And again, with technology, drip line and everything was brought to the farmer in order now to economize on water usage. Currently, a farmer is able to know now, in this 1 acre, I'm supposed to use 1 million of liters per this season. Now, in my storage, I already have half a million liters of water in the storage. So I need to manage this half a million and add the other half a million in order now to get good returns out of it.
Okay.
Yes.
So water management is very important.
Very key, very important.
Okay.
Yes.
There was another thing also we skipped. That is seed transplanting. For the crops that require not to use a seed, but a seedling.
Yes.
When's the best time to grow the seed, and when's the best time to transplant that seedling now to the field? What do you look at, or what do the farmers need to know?
Back to the propagators. Also, this is another thing the propagators have monitored, and they know the mechanism of how these things are done. They know the planting period. At this date from date 10 to 15, this is the planting period of Kirinyaga area. This is the planting period of Oloitoktok. Now, they propagate the seedlings prior to the planting date. So when the farmer are in need of the seedlings, the propagators already have them. Mm-hmm. Now, talking of transplanting.
What if I want to propagate my own seed?
Yes, you can do that.
I go to the agronomy, buy the seedling. What do I need to know in terms of land preparation to the time I put my seed to the ground?
You know, at the moment we have gone from raising our seedlings from the nursery, from the ground nursery, now, and we have adopted the tray nursery seedling raising. Mm-hmm. And the farmers who have been trained and know now the procedures of raising their seedlings, they do that. But again, as a farmer, if you do your own calculation, plus, you know, every seed packet has its germination percent. And if you do the calculation of what you're losing plus what you're using and the attention you're giving to that crop, I would advocate for you buying the seedling. Mm-hmm. Because already the propagator has already incurred these loss. When you come buying 10,000 seedlings from the propagator, there is nothing like germination percent, there is nothing like deformity, there is nothing that this died. The propagator will give you exactly the number of seedlings that you're in need of. So if a farmer is able to buy the seedlings, the better. Or if they are far away from the seed lasers, they can propagate them by themselves.
Okay.
Yes.
So if I'm buying the seedlings from a propagator, what do I need also to look at? Though that I also don't buy the weaklings.
The propagators have their team with the knowledge of seedlings and seedling propagation. They know how susceptible a seed is to a certain area, how tolerant it is to a certain area. When you go buying the seedlings and you tell them, I'm from Nairobi, I'm from Kajiado, they tell you this one does well in Kajiado, this one does well in Moya, this one does well in Oloitoktok, this does well in Nyandarua. So they will advise you accordingly before you buy the seedlings.
Okay.
Yes.
So so it depends with which crop I want to plant?
Yes, it depends by which crop you want to plant.
And where?
Yes, and where.
Oh, okay. Now
also, the nature of your soil can also determine the type of crop you want to plant.
Okay.
Yes.
And this also the propagator can help me?
The propagator, these are the key things the propagators are there to, because they need you tomorrow as a client, and they also want you to bring another client who will see the success in your farm.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
We've talked about all these things, from land preparation to harvesting and going to the market. But I'm still thinking we need also to talk about the soil, in terms of we've seen people don't take care of the soil and there's a lot of soil erosion. Uh-huh. What are the effects? What does how does degradation affect soil fertility?
Okay, talking of degradation, degradation can be caused by few things. Among them, the soil erosion, like you have seen. Another thing, use of synthetic product in the soil, and these are the chemicals and the fertilizers.
How do they affect?
Like I told you before, soil, there are three things that are involved in good soil nutritional improving soil: the crop, the biology, and the soil itself. Okay. And these things live together. What you need if your soil is suffering, there are so many cover crops that have been introduced in order to solve the problems in our soil. An example of them is a product known as Sunemp. Sunemp is a product that you can use in your soil, and it will be able to eradicate most of the diseases in the soil, introducing the biologies, the nitrogen fixing bacteria, and also increase the level of earthworms in your soil. So if you're not doing a food crop, you are supposed to use a cover crop. And most of the cover crops can also be used as fodder, or you can also use as green manure. You can plow in the soil and also use it as manure. So what farmers need to observe is now they make sure good crop that helps the soil, that is not exhausting the nutrient in the soil, good crop that takes care of the biologies in the soil. Also the soil itself, make sure the soil is well covered, like by use of the cover crop or the mulching, in order now to regenerate or to bring back the life of the soil.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's say my soil was washed away. Is it possible to regenerate that topsoil?
Yes.
And how long will that take?
Regenerating soil depends now by what the farmers gives the soil itself. Because a washed away soil, once you have washed the organic matter of the soil. Okay. And the organic matter is what is brought in by, when we say we are doing manure, we are applying manure in our soil, we are adding the organic matter. Also, use of the cover crop can also be very important when regenerating it. So you can use as much manure as possible because the manure is not poisonous to the soil. Use the cover crop. Also, make sure there is no more washing of the soil by maybe electing the gabions, and also we also do terraces can also be one of the measures to control the erosions.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Fred. I think that is all the time we had for today.
Thank you.
I'm sure our viewers have really benefited from the conversation we've had, and they've learned a lot. Now they know what it takes from land preparation until the crop hits the market.
Yes.
For our viewers back at home, thank you for staying with us. Until next time, goodbye.